Hello everyone, hope you're doing alright today. I want to quickly talk about 7.1's changes to combat styles and my initial reactions to the launch. So, quickly looking at the tacticals that they released, Cult of Vapors is worthless. Shard of Mortis kind of feels like a PvP meme tactical to me. I'm going to let the Bothans work on that for a while for the Carnage folks, so if they come up with something, I will let you know. Gyroscope Stabilizers is AoE for Gunnery and Arsenal, which is kind of a meme, so it's worthless. And Magnetic Resonance is like 4k extra damage on a power shot, so it's like, it's okay, not great, not terrible. I'm gonna stick with Energized Charges. That's just me. Moving on down the line here, they fixed a lot of the issues with AoE abilities hitting twice, which is very nice. And they are now letting you build energy loads as tactics, which is very good. They're also adding 6% AoE DR on Sanic Round rather than the flat 30%, which is probably for the best. It adds a little bit of skill to the game. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be interesting to see if some of these classes get a little bit of a nerf in terms of how they're played in raids. Moving on down the line here at Gunnery and Arsenal, the changes are good. It pulled them out of the basement. They're still not great classes to play. However, it's not a complete meme anymore. It's just mostly a meme. Additionally, it's going to make it a little bit easier to play as a class. It's not going to be quite as punishing. So there's going to be less to be managing and hopefully more damage, which is going to be hopefully very good for all those stuck Gunnery and Arsenal players. Assault Specialist is very, very fun right now. I had a very good time raiding with it recently. Explosive Round and the Missile Blast generating 2 stacks is actually very strong. So we'll see how it stacks up against its peers. I think it's becoming a more viable range spec compared to what it has before, especially considering how much mobility we have as the spec. So hopefully it's going to bring us again out of the basement a little bit. Good change. Things are moving in the right direction. For Scoundrel, they fixed all the differences between Operative and Scoundrel, which is, pretty darn good. They also kind of gave a little bit of a nerf to the Operative Healing, which isn't going to be so big that it's going to change the way that you look at your healers, but it's going to be pretty darn good. Looking at Virulence and Engineering and obviously Dirty Fighting and Saboteurs changes, Virulence got a pretty heavy nerf, which is kind of sad since it was kind of the only viable range spec right now. But Engineering got a pretty significant buff. I took a look at the parse leaderboards. You can see here Engineering is now the dominant spec, which is pretty good, except that Engineering needs the target to stay still in order for it to do damage. So I think it kind of brought some equilibrium between NG and Virulence. If the boss stands still, play Engineering. If the boss moves, play Virulence. So it'll be interesting to see how these two kind of balance out. Unfortunately, Marksman's still living down in the basement. Once again, for Shadow and Assassins, they kind of got the same PT treatment where now they get the 60% AoE DR if they use their Mind Cloud. So again, adding some skill to AoE DR rather than just being a flat base is going to be very, very good. For Sages and Sorks, Revitalized package working is going to be very, very good. They did a little bit of fixing here and a little bit of buff for balance, so we'll see how that works out for them. I don't think it's going to be too big of a buff, but hopefully it's a step in the right direction. For Sentinels, redesigning the defensive role to be 30% AoE DR every time you use Inspiration, Rebuke, or Transcendence is going to be kind of crazy for Watchmen and Combat. That's very, very strong for them, especially in PvE. I still don't think of Combat essentially as a PvE spec, but we'll see. I kind of think that Watchmen and Annihilation are way too dominant, especially with their heals right now, to really make it worth playing, but hopefully this brings some question to the table of what you actually want to bring to your raids. Concentration did get a significant PvE nerf though by taking away defensive role in that big AoE DR. Force Question Exhaust and giving Gravity Vortex again is going to be an interesting choice. We'll see how it all plays out. Personally, it feels like these were all kind of deserved changes. They also did some fixing here with bringing Annihilation and Carnage up a little bit and then hopefully reducing Fury's damage just a little bit. So interesting changes, again, kind of bringing the classes all back towards the same medium. We'll see how it actually goes. For Guardian and Juggernauts, the Shatter Burst getting reduced by 50% is probably a good change. It's kind of a shame because it was a lot of fun, especially in high ad fights, but there's a good reason they removed it, because it was doing too much damage. And then the crit chance down by 5% is not that significant if we're being honest about it. So it feels like they're doing a good job of condensing the width between the high end and the low end just a little bit, and hopefully that is I don't want to brag too much, but we did release the pretty successful video about how the meta is a problem right now and how classes are too far apart, and they're doing a good job of responding to that feedback and hopefully condensing them a little bit back together. So hopefully I don't want to say complaining that we did, but the criticism that we gave was listened to, and it seems that they have responded to it. Additionally, with the release of R4, that operation absolutely slaps. Like that, they did a fantastic job with that operation. I did a whole video yesterday, essentially blowing that operation because it was so good. And it makes me wish that the game released in this state of 7.1 instead of 7.0, because 7.0, let's be honest, not great. Right? It was not successful. However, 7.1 seems to be what 7.0 should have been. And if 7.0 was this patch, I think the game would be in a lot better spot. So hopefully the players coming back to check out R4 are going to be much more happy with their current situation than they were when 7.0 launched. So good job, BioWare. These are good changes. You listen to us, you're making changes and moving in that direction. Let's see if you can keep it up. But for right now, I'm pretty satisfied with this. Seems like you listened. And release good content. And at the end of the day, if you're going to release good content, we'll be happy with it. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. It seems like these changes aren't drastically game changing, going to change things up a little bit in terms of like AOE/DR, but hopefully the damage is going to be kind of compressed a little bit into a more manageable situation. So that's kind of all I have today. If you guys have any questions, comments, complaints, concerns, conundrums, etc., let me know down in the comment section below. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye now.